I think that I've met my match as far as fragrances that are just balls to the fucking wall insane. So, Slumberhouse is an indie house that is out of Portland, Oregon, and the perfumer is Josh Lobb, and he has made some of my favorite fragrances of all time. You know, Kissed, Back, and Or are some of my favorite fragrances that I had discovered in the last decade, and I absolutely jump all over whatever release he has um, whenever he gets around to coming off of sabbatical and creating his fragrances. If you didn't know, Josh is a peculiar type of perfumer. He kind of marches at the beat of his own drum. He will release fragrances at his own leisure, and he has kind of a distaste for what we do. YouTube and Fragrantica and Bass Notes being riddled with plenty of perfume critics and a world where fragrances are created in an assembly line fashion. He detests that. And he kind of creates how and when he wants to, when he's inspired. And that's an admirable trait, and I can appreciate that as an artist. Without further ado, let's discuss the most polarizing fragrance I think I have tried ever. And I may be a little bit off, when it comes to this conclusion. A lot of people find that Eldo's Secretions Magnifique is, the most ridiculous, out of this world concoction, or something like Mona de Oreo's Cure, or whatever. The list goes on, right? For me, it's Slumberhouse's New Sibet. Okay, New Sibet is a fragrance that I don't know how to wear it. I don't know how to pull this off. I don't know what to say about it. I'm literally left in awe. So New Sibet, or Sibet, depending on your bottle style. Mine just says Sibet. Comes in 30 ml, and it is a one size fits all. His bottles change every time he creates, like every time he releases his fragrances, his bottle changes. I'm not sure if that's like on purpose or if it's kind of just like a manufacturer thing. I know that this time around with COVID and everything, his bottles from the last release are the same, but the caps are slightly different. They're not black caps this time, they're silver, and that has something to do with the manufacturer and COVID and the nonsense. But this style bottle looks almost identical, except for the cap is rubber. It's like a rubber sheath. The sprayer is the same, the bottle is the same as the releases that are coming out now, and the release that happened back in, I think it was 2019, fall of 2019, as well as Fern that was released in the summertime. The packaging is this, okay? There's only one time that the packaging came with a box, and that was the preferred approach when it came to the aesthetic and the bottle and in the bottle and the box design. And that was with the Kissed bottle that I had actually owned for the review that I had done for Kissed from 4 or 5 years ago. But since then, I've only seen these pouches, and I haven't seen a box since that particular release with that bottle style. So pouch is fine, whatever. I hardly ever keep my boxes anyways personally, so it's all about the stuff that's inside the bottle, right? But that being said, I'm not a fan of this rubber cap whatsoever. I mean, you're looking at $180 American for a 30 ml Parfum Extrait, and while it's wholeheartedly worth every brown cent as far as the creativity and whatnot, it's a little lackluster. But Josh is on record saying that essentially he does not give a shit about the aesthetic and the presentation, and people get a little too wrapped up in that, and it's really about, you know, the fragrance inside the bottle, which I can appreciate. The notes in this fragrance are, I'm basically going to give you the three notes that are overwhelmingly, insanely loud, and it's almost as if Armageddon is being blasted off onto your wrist when you apply it. So here we go. Let me tell you something too, while we're on the subject, right? You need one spray, two max with this particular fragrance. Most of the line is kind of that way, but really, I'm telling you now, especially with this. I feel like my face is like fucking melting, or, you know, someone stuck my head in a copying machine and it's just like going over and over and over, you know, the lights and the flashing and the insanity, right? This fragrance, it doesn't offend me, but it disturbs me. And this is the first time that this has ever happened in my whole journey, being like taken aback and like almost put in a really uncomfortable scenario creatively, thinking about what it is that this fragrance reminds me of. And I find it disturbing and a little shocking and incredibly weird and definitely artistic. This fragrance consists of essentially like four components, okay? You get a really buttery, true to life iris, very organic. You get goat hair, goat fur. You get musk, and you get leather. I'm not shitting you guys. This stuff is insane. Insane. What this fragrance reminds me of is a cult making a sacrifice for like the spawn of Satan or the Antichrist. I wish that I could be like more pleasant about the description of the fragrance, but I'm sorry, that's what I get. I mean, the goat scent, the animalic nuance in the fragrance is really, really intense and really true to life, and it's almost as if the animal is right there with you, which is why it reminds me kind of like of this sacrificial sort of idea. And it's, my God, is it intense. I'm telling you right now, guys, if you are, you know, the type of person that likes your fragrances quieter, a little bit more reserved, a little bit more mainstream, don't even fucking click out the video. It doesn't even matter at this point. Like, you're just wasting your time watching this. For the rest of you that go into niche because you want something that's going to be a compliment magnet, and or can like inspire some kind of story in your head, you're also wasting your time. This is for the like very, very small sliver of the fragrance community that wants something purely for you and purely for art's sake, because this is nothing more and it certainly is nothing less. The opening of the fragrance actually has like a little bit of like this minty vibe to it as well. Very herbal, fresh quality to it that then basically just is overwhelmed with this insanely buttery iris and insanely just animalic, primitive, leathery, musk, goat, animal, sacrificial freaking scene out of a movie. And I both love it for that and also find it like incredibly difficult for me to just even begin to suggest how to apply it, where to wear it. There's nothing. There is nothing. You literally have to smell this yourself and come to your own conclusion as to how you would apply it, where you would wear it, what occasion, etc. And it's just a piece of art. It's a piece of art. Simply put. Josh Lobb is definitely great at creating art, and I hope you check out his line, and I hope you check out New Sibet. It is a very interesting concoction, unlike anything I've ever tried in the almost 12 years of doing this whole YouTube business, and even longer with wearing cologne in general. So if you believe in anything that I have to say at all ever, just know that I wholeheartedly think that this is a line that is worth checking out if you have not. And you definitely need to get on it now, too, because he only releases these fragrances, like once a year type deal. So check them out and let me know what your thoughts are. For me, this is, I can't give it marks one way or the other. It is both wearable and unwearable. It is both um, art and also just something that I would typically completely detest. And since I'm kind of stuck in this weird realm of not knowing what to do with it, I simply can't even rate it. So, first time ever. There's a first for everything. Here we are. New Sibet by Slumberhouse Perfumes. Josh Lobb, creative genius, and boy, way to conjure up the Antichrist with this one, huh? So, I'll check you all later. I hope you're all doing wonderful out there, and I will see you soon.